Lichess plays. Lichess plays. It is the weekly 2-hour blitz extravaganza where I play all comers in 3+0. Let's jump immediately into a game. We're accepting random challenges here. Whoa. Why did I suddenly get a light background? We can't have that. Let me play a move first. That was weird. As soon as I accepted a challenge, it said, no. You're not playing with the dark background. Let's immediately fix that because I know you guys are going to yell at me. Yes, JD Mel in the Twitch chat says, my eyes. Yeah, we cannot have that. Okay, let's play. I don't feel like going into a potential Stafford Gambit or some sort of accepted variation. So let's play this. And I think this is a delayed attempt at the Stafford take and knight c6, but it's a little bit different, right? So let's capture. Hello, Gray Sensei. We'll pull this back now. You like the rapid games? Okay, good. Excellent. You must have seen my stream last night. I was playing on my personal channel last night. Some rapid as well as blitz. How's everyone doing today? You guys having a good weekend? D4, bishop b4. Seems reasonable. Let's do it. Usually if you can advance this d-pawn with tempo, you do it. Yeah, the challenges are random. That is correct. And I have a accept random challenge button that I click. Again, the only stipulation, I remind you guys every week, and most people remember, got to challenge me to 3+0. It's very important. 3+0 blitz. That's what we're playing. Now here, I can trap this knight. So this is a pattern you want to know. Knight on the rim is dim or grim. We're attacking here. This square's covered. Also, f4 is covered by the bishop. So, hello, No Joke Chess, one of our favorite mods in the chat. No Joke Chess is instrumental in setting up Lichess plays every week. Shout out to Lichess. Shout out to all the mods. Shout out to all you viewers, both on Twitch and YouTube. I got to pull up the YouTube stream, actually, because I like to follow the chat there as well. We are broadcasting on both platforms, Twitch and YouTube. Looks like we got about 50 viewers on YouTube as well. Shout out to you guys. Let's play takes. Pawn structure is a little janky, but hey, for a piece, an entire extra minor piece, it's a small price to pay. So I think black's going to try to simply win this pawn back, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, there's a short burst of activity here I'm going to have to navigate. How to recapture. I think probably taking with the knight. I have 3 options. I think taking with the knight is safest. And I'm thinking if I can plug a piece, play a bishop to e3, that's the best way to ensure that I can consolidate here. Yeah, no hot tub. Sorry to disappoint everyone. But many of you were able to catch Magnus Carlsen's hot tub stream the other day, playing from a hot tub in Norway as he took people down in the Lichess titled arena. Amazing. I only caught like one game. I caught the last minute or two that he was doing that, and I think he said he was getting cold, so he had to wrap up the stream. Lonely Oreo says, John, I'm curious, did you study law in college? I was a business major in college, so I have my degree in business, but I was in law school briefly after that, just for 1 semester. Hello, Shernick. Good to see you. I'm doing well. How are you today? Let's play bishop f4. We going to get a game in today, Shernick? Rook e6. I have knight c7. Don't think this rook has any other good place to go to. So, yeah, we're going to get a fork here. All right. Thank you, Johnson Playing Chess, for joining. And let's take this rook so that we also defend the bishop on f4. We'll even pre-move this in the off chance that black takes. All right. So now we're just trading down. I'm thinking about playing, let's play pawn h6. Let's try to open up the black king a little bit. Rook g1. Oh, yeah. Coffee's right here. Hey, Joseph. Welcome to the chat, by the way. Let's play bishop d5. Nice mild day here in Minnesota. I've really been enjoying this weather, actually. Gotta watch my time a little bit, as usual. Yeah, not hot at all. Just nice and cool. Just like we hope to play chess, right? Take this pawn. Let's go here. Target this. I'll let black take h6. I think that's a decent way to play, just so I can try to set up some sort of mating net. And now we got a couple different mates. Check. And this should take care of business with this one coming in. Or this. Only move there. Oh, I dropped my rook. Okay, I'm still winning, fortunately, but... Never say never, right? Still got to sweat this. Well, I don't have auto queen on either. I'm really pushing it to the limit here. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a chance to under-promote. All right, so I blundered my rook. I didn't manage to checkmate with the 2 rooks there, but we got the job done. With 5 seconds to spare. Good game, Mr. Fancier. Yeah, that must be an Evans Gambit, or not an Evans Gambit, a Stafford Gambit attempt, like a delayed version of it. Bishop c5. But I think it's a little bit suspect for black because white can keep the knight. I mean, maybe even knight d3 is playable, but I kind of like this position where you're not, in fact, exchanging on c6 and you're not trying to assist black in playing d takes c6 and opening their light square bishop. Thank you, Laura Bodo. Good to see you. And they confirm. Yeah, it definitely was a Stafford attempt. Yeah, I don't know. I would suspect that white is doing pretty well from this position after knight f3. That appeals to me more than taking. The engine says they're about the same. No games in the database, in the Masters database, but I bet if we switch to the Lichess database, there are plenty of games. Yeah, and white scoring quite well with knight f3, so something to keep in mind if you're facing that pesky Stafford Gambit. All right, we have over 100 challenges here. Thunder Champ, good luck. 3 + 0, here we go. Let's play a Peertz. D6, move 1. Good afternoon, MS8. Good to see you. I'll play the Peertz proper, where you fianchetto the dark square bishop. Why not? I sometimes also try to go for the e5 type variation. Now, bishop e3. Let's bother that bishop. Let's just try to get it to declare its intentions. Play c5. Take, queen a5 maybe. You guys been following the Sinkfield Cup? I've caught a few games here and there. I saw that Jeffrey Zhang took down Fabiano Caruana the other day. So taking down the number 2 player in the world. Yeah, World Cup is a great event to follow. If only there was a World Cup style format going on all the time. Okay, danger for white here. Yeah, so this is a pattern that we should be aware of. E5 is possible with a fork. I could also try to take and then play e5. The thing is, I'm probably going to lose the d6 pawn no matter what here. So we are taking some liberties with that. Oh, my knight is hanging. Well, that happens sometimes in Lichess plays. Sometimes you just randomly hang pieces. Now I got to be a little careful. So you got to watch out for hanging knights on g4 as well. Let's go maybe here. Maybe I should try to neutralize this knight. Again, I got to be a little careful at this point. Ooh, there's bishop g5 though. This is the threat. So I'm thinking about knight e5, knight b6, maybe knight f6. I don't like knight f6 as much. What to do here? Knight b6, bishop g5, queen d7. Trade. Knight f6. I don't have to take it, though. Okay, I'm going to play... I think I'm going to go here. Yes, this is Lichess Plays. This is a weekly event, for me at least, but also there are other streamers who do Lichess Plays. And we take on all comers in 3+0 blitz. And there's no priority given to the time in which you send the challenge, which can be a little frustrating, I admit, for people at times because they may be sitting there for a while without their challenge being accepted. But yeah, there is no priority. There's no way to jump the line. Even if you're a Lichess patron, as much as we appreciate you. Okay, this I don't mind. I think these pawns are actually fairly useful because doubled pawns yield open files. So I'm thinking attack this or this. Maybe a little rook lift now. Hit the bishop. Maybe swing this over here or here. I'm probably going to be going to c5. Let's say bishop d2 to safety, rook c5, and that pawn is indefensible. Why don't I play a simul so more players can play with you? You know, I'm sure they've thought about that before, but in my experience personally, simuls are worse streaming content. Because with the simul, you have to stay pretty focused in going from game to game. It's constant action for the time that the simul is taking place. It's not very viewer friendly. So yeah, you can get a number of games in. You can get more games in a simul than you can playing individual games sometimes, especially if you're an ambitious simul giver. But requires total attention. This pawn's looking like it might fall. Rook d3 could be met by rook a1. Now, this move, I feel like rook a1 followed by bishop here should be winning. So let's go for that. Maybe white can hold off somehow, but there's d3, bishop b2. There's also just this direct bishop h6 threat, which maybe white could try to deal with by g3. Yep. So they're trying to meet bishop h6 with f4 when bishop takes f4 is met by g takes f4. But I'm thinking just advance this guy. Two different threats. So too much pressure here. You can challenge me to rated or casual fly half. Up to you. All right, rook e1, creative. Bishop c3. I'm going to meet bishop d2 with rook takes e1. No, I have not retired from YouTube. I've been getting a lot of those questions lately. I am just taking a break. Have been taking a break. But I will be back. Let's go after these pawns. Take some stuff. H-pawn on the outside, screaming down the board here. And a little move to prevent the white king from coming back. Now the pawn advances. I hope the lack of auto queen doesn't hurt me. Let's hope that I can still execute my moves on time. Okay, thank you for the game, Shatter Thunder Champ. Yeah, so I actually think this position after knight takes b6 is fine for black. I wouldn't even be surprised if black was perhaps slightly better here, despite two sets of double isolated pawns, because that's the thing. They give these open files, and if you can't immediately attack those pawns, or it's some simplified scenario where the side with the doubled pawns has targets, it's not out of the question that black's just better here. Yeah, that is the case. Pretty significantly so. So, pretty interesting, right? White's pawns are all healthy looking, but they're targets, much more so than black's pawns. There are some lines of the Sicilian like this, where black may end up with these pawns in the middle in particular. Thank you, Orham. Appreciate your kind words about my videos. So thanks again for the game, Thunder Champ. Are you Rai? Are you Ray? Let's play d4 this time. Max McCall asks, why was knight b6 stronger than knight f6? So, yeah, I wanted to induce that exchange and be able to perhaps take back with the pawn for one thing. But knight f6, although it hit the queen, I wasn't as thrilled about knight takes f6, queen takes f6, and then e5. I wasn't liking that so much. Opening up the center because I had a king on e8. So I think that would have been risky for me. How many challenges do I have active? 94. It's actually gone down slightly since we started. Let's play e6. This is a fun move. We're going to try to weaken that black king. Pawn takes. I'll play bishop out here and threaten queen h5. Mate in 2 threat, which black is definitely going to deal with somehow. Or mate in 3 threat, I guess. And now, for our next trick, we're probably going to send this knight up to e5 at some point. Maybe g5. This is a pawn sacrifice I know from the advanced variation of the Caro-Kann. Pretty promising idea. Ooh. So I can either go here, or I can play check immediately. But if I play check immediately, the king may run, right? Although there is knight f7. So which is best here? Yeah, they're both good. Let's play the fun one. We'll play knight e5. We're going to seal off the exit. But bishop g6 followed by knight e5, knight f7 was also plenty good. I could even try to attack in that situation, like a bishop f4 move coming in. But we'll play this first. Hello, Collier. Thanks for being a first-time chatter. Yeah, glad you could make it. Black has to move their queen now, but this is not good because this move runs into queen h5 now. And this will be checkmate. Okay, so black resigns. Very quick game. That's the effect that this e6 pawn sacrifice can have. I think black got a little wrong-footed with their move order. I played knight c3 on move 2. Maybe black was intending to play a Slav or something, but it transposes to like a weird Caro-Kann where black has essentially played knight f6 instead of taking the pawn on e4. Yeah, it is a nice pattern, Chernik. Agreed. Yep, pawn e6. Let's see if the engine likes it too. Yeah, engine doesn't approve, but from a human standpoint, I love this move. I mean, the best thing to do for black may actually be to give the pawn back. Maybe play for a quick e5 if possible. The engine says g6, but plenty of fun ways for white to attack here. h4, h5, still knight f3. All right, back above 100 challenges. Thanks again for the game. Are you Ray? Yeah, just got a little bit wrong-footed in the opening. Tokyo Star, good luck. Playing a lot of 2,000 pluses. Hello, Malcolm. Malcolm says, Danya said a good rule is if black can play e5 after the e6 sack, then they should be fine. Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, so we're playing a Dutch early bishop g5. I think I play this here. And then on bishop h4, I don't exactly know how to play the g5 line. g5 looks like it's going to trap the bishop, but it really doesn't. Let's play... I'm going to play a more modest move. I'm going to go g6. So if you play g5, white can play, for example, e3 and threaten queen h5 mate. So we wouldn't have had time to take the bishop anyways. That is true. Stockfish does not know psychology. Hopefully. It's fianchetto the bishop. Yep, that's correct, Tess. Says it comes in the tall variation, the e6 sacrifice. Correct. Yeah, you're talking about the h4 line. All right, let's make this weird. c5. Pushing the f pawn and the c pawn early on. We get the pincer attack. I might pop this queen out somewhere like b6 or a5. Queen b6 is kind of appealing. This might be a little ticky-tack of a threat, but this is a common motif you'll see when this bishop has been committed to the other side of the board. All right, so knight bd2. So I could go for a pawn now. I'm going to see how white responds to this. Take. Normally, I'd be hesitant about making a capture such as this where you give up this bishop, but I'm hitting this guy over here. Okay, now I'm more seriously thinking about this move. Is there a defense for my opponent? Something like queen g4, I can play check maybe, and then win the bishop. Yeah, I think I like this. Let's do it. Maybe they'll go after this pawn, maybe not. Okay, because this is more of a realistic option now. But there's other interesting stuff too. Like I could play check and then do this. That actually looks fairly clean, but kind of like this one a little bit more. Yeah, let's do it. So queen h5, king here. Maybe white will castle. White's got to swing for the fences, I think, soon. Which way is safer? I don't know. I'm going to go this direction. King d8 is also a legit option. It's nice that my queen is defending the rook. I did see that. So that bishop takes, I can take back, and the queen will be holding that piece. Guess I even have check and take here, but... LB Hike says it's the crayfish attack. It's like the crab, but smaller. Did you guys ever have like a school project where you took home crayfish and cared for them for like a week? Terrible pets, crayfish. And there's almost no point to having a pet like that. It's more of like something that just exists in your household if you're going to have it. But we did that in maybe like 4th grade. So I just had crayfish like chilling in our family basement for a week or two. Or crawfish, maybe some people might call them. Crawdads. Yeah, they're not much for cuddling. That's correct. Let's give a check here. I might hold off on taking this bishop for a little bit. Like maybe knight f6 now. Yeah, let's do this. I think this is almost forced, and then it'd be nice to play rook here, although there's the capture. So maybe here, then I'll take. That might be the order of operations. Still try to be careful. I don't want a knight like landing somewhere where it can assist with a checkmate. Okay. Knight c6, maybe. I'm thinking knight e5 might be a good move after this. I like the look of this. Get the queen back. A little closer to the king in proximity. Not going to take the rook. I get mated on f7. I have 21 seconds. I'm talking too much. Mental note. Dead winning, but talking too much. Now we're going to get a queen trade. Let's go here. Don't have to trade yet. Trying to set up some rook g8, bishop h3 type thing. Okay. So extra piece here. Just got to get it done on the clock, right? That's always the case. White's being annoying, creating threats. Probably going to keep their rook if I were to guess. Oh. Bring the king up. Okay, I got him on the clock, even though we're winning in the end. I saw white starting to hesitate a little bit, so I had to go for the dirty flag. That was close. Yeah, I've had a couple close games now. Tough games against 2,000 plus players. But yeah, I was pretty well in control of that one. Should have been able to convert this a little bit cleaner too. But White did a good job of stirring up some trouble right around here. I didn't manage to get the rooks off the board. So, sloppy play. Bishop d7. I have no idea why I played that. I think I was trying to defend this pawn so I could move my rook. But, time scramble at that point. Thank you for the game, Tokyo Star. Sharp one. Let's go to the next game. Strut. Another 2,000 plus. Okay. Let's play d4 again. Should I play a Jobava London? Let's do it. Knight c3, bishop f4. Where are my Jobava London players at? I've been taking a closer look at this opening from time to time. I think it's very interesting. Really fun blitz and rapid weapon. I don't know that at the title player level I'd be counting on it for longer time control games, but some players do. I don't know if I should take. Let's take. Take and maybe knight f3 coming. Goes there. Okay. Okay, let's just play knight f3. It's called the James Blunder London now. Yeah, shout out to Grandmaster Badur Jobava. He goes by James Blunder on Twitch. He's a Lichess player as well. He has his name attached to this opening. I mean, that's legacy right there. That is like pretty sick when you think about it. Right? Like having your name permanently attached to a chess opening. That's so hard to do nowadays, especially an opening that features just a couple moves and they're legit moves. d4, knight c3, bishop f4. A version of the London system played with the knight on c3 in front of the c-pawn. Yeah, exactly. Attached in a great way. I don't like my position very much here, but let's play the knight forward. I can try to offload one of these pawns. Like this is a set of double isolated pawns that's just not good for white, but I can try to offload one, play c4. Yeah, chess immortality. I mean, honestly, there's not so many modern players who can claim to have an opening named after them. Even Magnus, like maybe there are Carlsen variations or sub variations, but there's no main line as far as I'm aware. Also, it takes time to evolve that too. Okay, bishop h7, super tempting, but it's not quite a Greek gift sacrifice that we like here because my knight can't go back to g5 to threaten mate on h7, nor would that even be good in this instance. So I'm thinking maybe just queen h5 right away. We might be getting some trades, though. Let's try to keep the bishop pair. I'm going to move this bishop back. This looks a little cowardly, but I want to try to keep the light square bishop. Attack here. c4 coming. Yeah, there is the Botez gambit. That's right. Any chance the queen d8 Scandi is renamed the Bartholomew? Yeah, hard to say, too, because usually you got to be playing a lot of over-the-board chess and tournaments for a variation to start bearing your name. And I don't know that I quite have the credentials for that, even though I have played it often. Let's take here. I feel like I have some slight pressure. Very slight pressure, but how to play it? Let's go here, first of all. I'm just going to use my chance to gain a tempo on the bishop. Lichess calls it the Rapport-Jobava system. Interesting, yeah. Richard Rapport's also contributed to this opening. Maybe here? I don't know. This looks interesting. Let's do it. Little rook lift. Thing is, I'm not actually certain I want to take this pawn. But I'm trying to get him to take here so I can take with check. Maybe that would be a catalyst to eventually doubling my rooks or something. Does publishing a definitive study on a line get it named after you? No, definitely not. I mean, the naming conventions are pretty random, quite honestly, and they differ depending upon what part of the world you're in. So, for example, like the Benko Gambit, named after Hungarian-American Grandmaster Paul Benko, is called the Volga Gambit, more commonly in Russia, as far as I understand, for the Volga River. Let's play a5. We'll just anchor the rook. I am up a solid pawn at this point. Very useful pawn, too. And black has this issue to contend with. Let's get ready to triple. Rook e6. Shift targets a little bit. Maybe invade this way. We're in full control at this point. This is a very nice position for us. Too much pressure. And too many pawns. Rook c7, go here. Yeah, and the rails are fully off. The wheels have come off the rails. Thank you, Strut, for the game. Yeah, close one. I think you were doing fine up until maybe queen e7 even. I was actually thinking perhaps you play f6 here, or a6 here, rather, because on takes you can play queen b6, and my rook is actually trapped. So I'm going to bet that I am not better at all here. a6, even d4. It's a nice idea. I have take, queen b6, and I have to sack an exchange, which maybe is not the end of the world according to the engine, but I actually doubt I would have gone for this. So thanks again for the game. Okay, GG Lamour. Let's play. Someone was asking about King's Gambit. Let's see if we can get a King's Gambit. Polar Bear Garden says, hey, all you have to do is create a wiki entry of the Bartholomew Scandi and reference it in a bunch of forums, and it will be so. But I would want it to be a thing where the community actually embraces that name. Like, I think everyone embraces the Jobava London. GG, are you there? Open up. You got a game to play. Throw some cold water on your face. We have work to do. Okay, I think GG is not there. I'm sorry. Didn't answer the door. On to the next challenge. You can always challenge later. Fade 21. Good luck. Fade was ready. Let's play a Sicilian. Maybe I can play a Sveshnikov variation if white plays an open Sicilian. Rest in peace to Yevgeny Sveshnikov. He passed away at the age of 71 recently. And, you know, speaking of contributions to opening theory, that's another guy who just has a fantastic legacy. With the Sveshnikov Sicilian, main line of the Sicilian, one of the most reliable Sicilian lines out there, and also made a lot of contributions to the Alapin Sicilian. So e4, c5, c3, which he believed to be stronger than the open Sicilian for white. I was also reading up on him too. He had strong opinions about game scores, and he believed that game scores, so in other words, the moves that you write down, your copy of the game and the game itself, really, he believed that should be the intellectual property of the players who played it. And you can go to his wiki and read about that. Kind of an interesting concept. I guess I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other. I mean, I generally embrace the notion that chess games are public domain. But I kind of see where he's coming from with that, because for professional players and players who spend hours playing the game and then many, many hours preparing and making sure that they can play top-level chess and produce these games, I can see why they get attached to the games themselves. Yeah, exactly. I think that's an argument that would be very difficult to make work. I wonder if he's going to try for this. It's probably what he's planning, but I can, you know what I can attempt here? I can try to make this backfire on white, unless it backfires on me. Knight e5 takes h6 is what I'm thinking. Like blunder into the bishop takes e6 idea. But then play h6. You can play f4 at that point. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to go here. d5. Good position here to work with. I'm liking this. Yeah, there's so many issues with that. I don't know how in practice that would ever work. But I see his point. I do see his point. Okay. Knight d5. Try to send the knight to f4. So now white's king is somewhat weak. So I'm thinking if I can put the knight in, attack the pawn on h3, that might be a prelude to a mating net as well. Yeah, exactly, lawyer Bodo. I do think it would be nice if there was some way, maybe there will be some way in the future, like a crowd fund for like really well played games. Maybe even games played by professionals, but not like the elite guys who are getting paid to play tournaments, getting appearance fees and enjoying good prize funds in tournaments. What if there was a way to crowd fund well played games or maybe like ongoing competitions? Because as it stands, yeah, I mean, content creators stand to benefit more from, financially at least, from well played games than the players themselves. So, like big YouTubers, if they make a review, if they have a large following and are monetizing, I guess they would argue that they're monetizing their analysis of the games, which is very true. But the games themselves are the creative efforts of the players. So it does seem like there should be some sort of avenue for them to profit from their, or at least get compensated for their efforts. Maybe that's something that technology will actually be able to solve. Oh, and this is checkmate. I don't have to take back. I think white had to play rook g4 here to attack the knight and block the mate threat, most importantly. All right. Interesting little game. I think slight logjam for white. The queen on d2 blocks the knight coming to that square. So I think that's like a slightly dubious aspect of the white position. And knight g5. Wasn't a big fan of that fade. But thank you for the game. How many moves is the deepest line of theory? Ooh, I've seen some variations stretch beyond move 40. Blue pterodactyl. Let's play c4. Let's play the English in this one. Hello and good luck to blue pterodactyl. Yeah, move 40. There's a variation called the Bothanic variation of the Semi-Slav. And I have seen some published analyses. That's a variation that, like, the theory starts on, like, move 16 in a lot of the lines. That's just the starting point. So commonly it will stretch to move 20, 25, 30, in some cases even beyond that, like into the end game. I'm going to defend the pawn on c4. I usually play this structure as white with the plan of castles, d4, knight bd2, and e4. And this is solid, albeit a little bit cramped and passive for black, with the light square bishop being the problem piece. Have I memorized it? No, but there's a game played by I think it was Grandmaster Igor Novikov versus like Alex Yermolinsky that I remember being cited in a book, like some very long line of the Bothanic variation. Reaching like an endgame where I think it was white who had multiple connected pass pawns and black has a bishop, and somehow it's a draw in the end. Okay, now I feel like I should be able to win material somehow, or at least open the position favorably. I'm going to do this. Bishop d6 would be an understandable reaction, but it would be a bad one. Because I could either play take, e5, which will work this time, I hope. Or on bishop d6, I could play knight b5. Hit the queen, hit the bishop. So I do think this queen has to move. This looks a little shaky for black in terms of where to put the queen. I might be able to bring my rook over here, for instance. Maybe it's not so bad, but let's see what blue pterodactyl does here. Yeah, and this runs into the same problem. So take e5, or pawn takes c5, and come crashing down the file here. I think I like pawn takes c5. Let's do it. Have I ever played another famous streamer, OTB? Yeah. Yep, many of them. Actually, most all of the streamers that you guys know I've played over the board. I mean, you can throw out some names if you're really interested, but especially a lot of the North American streamers, US, Canada, I played a good number of them. Two of the most popular guys, though, that I have not played in an over-the-board game, I've not played Levy, I've not played Eric Rosen over the board. I have played Hikaru, actually. It was an online but serious game. It was like a 90-minute game. So I did play him many years ago. Played Ben Feingold multiple times. Played Danny Wrench. Played Greg Shahadi, even though he doesn't really stream. Hint, hint. Greg has a somewhat better result over the board against me compared to his online results. I think we have a draw or two. I played the Chess Bras. Played Naroditsky. Yep. I played Danya back in 2014, I think, at the so-called Millionaire Chess Open in Las Vegas. It was a draw. It was a King's Indian defense. He was frustrated because I played so solid against him. I haven't played Simon over the board. No. Well, okay, I have, but not in a tournament. I've played him in Blitz chess over the board. If you go to my channel, you can search some over the board Blitz that we played at the Battersea Chess Club in England. Never got a chance to play Yasser. No, he's been retired since I've been active for the most part, or semi-retired. Yep, thank you for the game, Blue Pterodactyl. So, yeah, you were a little bit cramped. I think the way to play this position is more so to go for b6, bishop b7. Probably a better bet. Putting the knight on b6, taking and putting the knight there, you're still going to have some issues with that. Was that the first time I met Danya? Probably, to be honest. Probably was the case that I had seen him at tournaments before, but that was the first time I played him or talked to him. Did Ari Ray get another game? Wow. They re-challenged and they got another game. That's what happens sometimes. Let's play e5 this go around. I feel like playing something audacious. Let's play the Latvian Gambit. Shout out to International Master Krzysztof Selecki, a.k.a. Chess Explained. He hates this opening with a passion. He says it's an awful, awful opening for black. You wouldn't want to be caught dead playing it, so let's play it. Yeah, he is awesome. Krzysztof is great. Yeah, Krzysztof helped me out a little bit when I first started streaming. He, or when I first started making YouTube content, rather. So this is like 6 years ago, maybe. He got on a call with me and just gave me some advice about like logistically how to handle things. And that was really cool of him because he didn't know me at the time. I had just watched some of his videos and I told him I was a title player who's thinking about making content. And he exchanged a message or two, and then I'm pretty sure we hopped on a call for maybe like 45 minutes or an hour. It was really, really kind of him. I always remember that. Anu should play the lotto? Yeah, exactly. But probably not now. Now their luck has run out, especially when they make moves like knight d4. I don't think we can do takebacks on array. I got to be a little strict on that, especially since this is your second game. We got to keep the train rolling. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What do you guys think on takebacks? I mean, my opinion on takebacks is that it's totally up to the person whether they want to accept the takeback or not. I don't think you should feel like pressured to do a takeback. Jumpin' Jackson says hard nope on takebacks. This is a fun move to play now. Let's try it. Idea take, rook g6. Polar Bear Garden says, I think misclicks are part of the game. LB Hike says, no takebacks. If I blunder, it's a learning opportunity for next time. Darko Twitch says, on takebacks, I have them disabled. Yeah. I think most people either just outright decline or like don't offer takebacks. But it also depends on the circumstances, right? Like if you're playing a game with a friend and it's just for fun, like educational reasons, you're way more likely to just do a takeback than you are playing a random person in like a fast game. So context is key, as in most everything in life. Let's take and then take the rook. Play b6. I'm up a rook here. Just don't hang something on a light square, basically. I'm going to move this knight. Just so it doesn't land against something like bishop b5. C. Caven says, I always give takebacks, gives you a psychological edge on your opponent. Well, the most awkward scenario is if you give a takeback in a position that you would have won easily if you hadn't granted them that takeback. And then the game goes on, and then suddenly they're in a winning position, right? And like a lot of times they will have the moral dilemma, should I offer a draw at this point? Okay, thank you for the game, Honoré. Yeah, so the Latvian Gambit is a gambit that should be dealt with pretty directly. The best move against the Latvian Gambit is to take on e5, as far as I'm aware. So you play knight takes e5. Black can't even play f takes e4 because of queen h5 check at that point. So you go takes, and they usually go queen f6. But after d4, white is better. And I would bet modern day engines eviscerate this opening if I were to start clicking this thing on. It's not going to be very kind to the old Latvian Gambit. But yeah, this is the line you want to look at. White scoring pretty well here, although in the Lichess database, it's more favorable to black than it is in the Masters database. All right, thanks again for the game. Sukure, hey. Shout out to Sukure, longtime viewer. Good luck. Have fun. Ernest Zelf says, even worse than the Stafford, frankly terrible. Sukure. Okay, good. I only had to reach to knock, and you had already played your move. Good stuff. Let's play g6. As an IM, how booked up are you on the refutations of garbage openings? Really depends on the opening, I would say. I would say only modestly booked up for me. But then again, I have not been studying a lot recently, past few years. So if I were to start playing tournaments again, I would certainly spend more time trying to look at refutations, even of borderline openings like the Benko Gambit. Sure thing, Sukure. Never know if they're watching or not. Let's be a little creative here. I'll play knight d6 and then maybe f5. I've been playing around with that f5 c5 approach. the crayfish approach, as someone called it. Mini pincers. I think here I might go for b5 at some point if I can. Maybe rearrange the knights like this or hop one knight into b4. Yeah, the Benko and Benoni can be a lot of fun. Yeah. The Benko is legit. Honestly, at the higher levels, it's semi-refuted. It's another one of these openings where top-line analysis from the best engines and top-level games in recent years has not been kind to it. I would not recommend the Benko anymore as really anyone's main weapon against d4. But your mileage may vary. But in the spirit of it, let's play this move. We're going to gambit a pawn. Oh, but white doesn't take it. I mean, it's probably legit at faster time controls, but there's a reason why you basically never see it at GM level these days, even at like lower tier GM level. Ooh, this drops the rook. I think Sukure had to play bishop b2 there, but it was looking like some big time pressure from the bishops. Yeah, there's some Benko resources on Chessable, though. I am saying this based on what I've seen in my own analysis, my own brief analysis 2 or 3 years ago, where I was just looking at the percentages and the prevailing opinions on it and looking at some games, and it looked pretty depressing for black. But it is possible that someone has managed to revive it, make it playable. And again, like all these openings for most everyone here, including myself in a lot of time controls, they are playable. It's just you'll encounter problems against good players or at longer time controls. Is the Benoni also on the endangered list? I would say yes, although a little less so. You still see some Benonis in certain versions of the Benoni, like players from the QID or the Catalan might go into a Benoni. So thanks for the game, Sukure. Yeah, I think you want to take that pawn on b5 when I played this. Knight takes or pawn takes b5. I'd probably take with the knight myself. After this, definitely some pressure. Maybe you're still in the game if you played bishop b2 followed by like knight b3, trying to kick the queen. But c4 is certainly a little tender. All right. We are up to 121 challenges. Tala Beg 23. Good luck. El Poeta says, I thought the Benko was less refutable than the Benoni. I don't think so, actually. Although I'd be curious what you guys think. The Benko is riskier in my mind because you are sacrificing a pawn in the Benko Gambit. Let's play knight d7. We're going to go for this line with this knight coming to f6. C. Caven says, seriously high average ratings today. Yeah, getting a lot of 2,000 plus players. Young UK on YouTube says, what do you think of the Maya bots, John? Yeah, so the Maya bots are AIs that you can play against on Lichess, and they're at various rating levels, and they play more human-like compared to playing against Stockfish. I think they're awesome, Young UK. I don't have a lot of experience playing against them myself, but I've seen a lot of games from students who played against them, and I would like to make a series at some point where I play the various Maya bots. And I think that's the case, that there's multiple Maya bots. But you can find the Maya level that, is appropriate for your level. Put the bishop on e7. Why e7 and not d6? Well, this breaks the pin for one thing, and I want to keep my queen pointed against d4 for the time being. Because like a common mistake here would be knight e5 from white, and allow a trade, and then queen takes d4. So we'll just keep that possibility open. Hello, Eschis. Greetings. Yeah, what's up? Thanks for subbing to the Lichess channel. I will be your host for roughly the next hour and 10 minutes or so. All right, we're getting some trades here. Kind of a dry position at the moment. Pretty equal. Maybe white could claim a sliver of an advantage. Very, very slight advantage. But a lot of maneuvering in store, more than likely. Unless one side starts getting aggressive. Like maybe white's going to try to play f5. So this is a case I actually kind of want my opponent to play f5. What move can I play to induce that? I don't want to play an outright bad move, but if f5 takes, rook takes, I would have f6. But the thing is, I don't think I have a good move here to induce that per se. So let's go here. I'll try to attack f4. b5 might be kind of nice, but I got to watch c6. The knight on e5 is certainly the major impediment to my progress in this position. Maybe queen h4 would have been interesting. How do Lichess ratings compare to FIDE ratings? Ooh, that is very difficult to say. I will say in general, just be aware that all online ratings do not correlate very well with over-the-board play for most people. I would say you got to look at longer time controls. So rapid at minimum, ideally classical, to even have a chance of getting something useful out of that. If I were to put a number on it, though, strictly, we might get a fork on e3 here at the end. We'll see what white does. If I were to put a number on it, I would say like Lichess classical ratings, if you're below 2200, probably 400 points of difference, as in Lichess is going to be about 4 to maybe even 500 points inflated. I thought about it, Tommy. Thought about queen g5 followed by this, but I don't know. Maybe it was good because I can try to take on d1 with the tempo on the queen. I don't know. c5? Let's try to undermine now. I got to watch my time here, too. Let's take. Step over here. Tense position. Queen g2 would be a blunder. So I'm trying to be vigilant about when I could land some sort of shot. Trying to threaten this now. Oh, be careful. Be careful, John. There's rook takes g7 against that. Must be careful. All right, you guys ready to see another time scramble? I've been escaping by the skin of my teeth in some of these time scrambles. Let's see what happens in this one. Let's roll the dice, see what happens. That's all we can do. Okay, white looks a little hesitant. They're playing a little slow. Using a lot of time to find these moves, but I think we might be good now. at least on the clock. Can pre-move some moves. All right. Yeah, they just slowed down big time. I think White didn't see a good way through here. I was pretty solid, but I almost blundered. Knight takes f5, rook takes g7. Because then on queen takes g7, there was queen takes f5 in between move. So that was a possibility of blundering that. Yeah, I do think Tommy, the queen g5 move, queen g5 93 was better. I think the thing I missed is that here I would be threatening to do that with a tempo on the queen. So something like rook g1 would not have worked for White. Is that endgame winning? This is close. I would say this particular position, probably it is, because White's king is so poorly placed. I could play g5, and then I could maneuver my king all the way over here, and at some point try to offer a rook trade, like a rook f4 type move, or get the rook to the second rank maybe if White's defending like that. I would say at that stage it is winning. Let's just check real quick. Nope. Engine says b3 draw, although every other line is evidently good. Okay, so this move's important, trying to trade. But in practice, this is still going to be tough for White to hold. If White could trade off all these pawns, maybe that's what the engine's saying. If it could trade 2 for 2, this would be a draw. Thank you for the game, Talabeg. Tough one. Oh, Soginski. Hey, how you doing, Soginski? I know you. We have not talked for a hot minute. I hope you're doing well. Oh, I see you become a B3 player since we've last spoke. Interesting. Joining the B3 Cowboys. CJ Summers, first-time chatter, says, hey, John, getting back to an earlier conversation. Have you ever played the Botez sisters, either OTB or online? No, I have not played either Botez sister in any format. Hello, Ront. So you're Soginski on here. Okay. E4 is unusual. Usually White tries to sit back with like E3. Keep the pawns on the third rank for the most part. A lot of times White will also take with the E pawn and maybe even fianchetto the bishop after that. We get some weird French-like position out of this. No, I have not played Jerry, Chess Network, over the board. I don't think he plays much over the board, if at all, these days. Although, in fairness, I have not played over the board since 2019 myself, so I am like long overdue for an over the board event. I've not played Andres Toth as well over the board. Yeah, this is kind of the problem with that D4 and really the E5 move in general. Easy for White to get overextended with their pawn structure. I have not played Magnus OTB, unfortunately. I've recorded with Magnus, but I have not had the pleasure of playing him OTB. He was on a pretty tight schedule both times that I recorded with him. What opening is this? This is the Nimzo Larsen B3. Let's try to anticipate White going here and maybe load up for knight B4. You'd beat him? You're talking about Magnus? Well, thank you, goodest. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Knight B5. I think I can play it. There is queen check, but I'll go queen D7 at that point. I played Magnus once online in a Lichess arena in Bullet. And yes, I did lose. Thoughts on B3 as a must-win weapon? I gotta say I don't get the B3 hype. I have played it a little bit myself. Still play it occasionally online. So I'm a little negative on B3. But hey, in a must-win game, there's a lot worse stuff you could do. Let's give it a check. The knight is on a spy mission into enemy territory. Check here now. Getting rid of the Nimzo Larsen bishop. Now I'm threatening this. Yeah, spy mission Pog. White's got to be very careful on the dark squares now. Okay, they're looking for a queen trade. Do we grant a queen trade here? I mean, I'm up a couple pawns if I do, so I think I should play it. I'm kind of tempted to keep the queens on, but this is a very good position. Maybe I should have just taken on a3 directly, but still very good. Nice position to work with. Ooh, how about here? And then I gain time for another spy mission into the c3 square. This time it's the other knight getting to c3. And white sees that, so they don't give me the pleasure of playing it. All right, here's the test for Soginski. Oh no, my pawn. You can't tell them it's a test, though, before you do it. Okay, but the test came on the next move. And yeah, that is a fork. Yeah, thanks to the game, Soginski. I think e4, that approach, I don't like it so much. Because I think your pawn structure is kind of inflexible here. You don't really want to take and give yourself these double isolated pawns. Pushing leads to a rickety structure as well where your bishop's blocked. So, yeah, I think probably the better way to handle this line is to take this way and actually fianchetto the bishop and gradually try to get it loose. I've had some games like that. Do you really think the Scandi is any good, or do you play it just because you're Minnesotan? Never eat elf. Let's play knight f3 here. Well, given that I've been playing it for virtually my entire chess career, that would be a long con at this point if I didn't have some belief in it. Let's play a two knights French. I think the Scandi is a great practical opening and therefore a good opening in general against 99.5% of the competitive chess population you're going to encounter. Hello, Dennis. Hello, Smoliance. Long con John confirmed. Hello, Michael Bradley on YouTube. Says, quick question, mainly Benko player, but a bit tired of those declining. What viewpoint on heading to either Kings or Queens Indian or Grunfeld? Trying for active play. Cheers. Yep, hard to go wrong with any of those openings, to be honest. If it were me, and you want an opening for active play, and you've got the time to commit to it, I would study the Grunfeld. I think the Grunfeld's an awesome opening. I've always struggled to get an advantage against it with the white pieces. Peter Svidler recently came out with a course on Chessable on the Grunfeld. I can't think of a better possible resource for it. It's definitely a demanding opening. Like, that's an opening that will demand a lot of attention, but you're probably going to thank yourself for studying it. Should we do it? Always debatable if this is a good line or not, but we're going to try it. We got to play it. The old Greek gift. Idea continuing knight g5, queen h5. Now, the key test for the Greek gift is often if the king comes out to g6. So that's maybe what we'll take a quick look at afterwards. See if it was John tested, engine approved. Now, do I play knight g5 and allow g6? Or do I withdraw the bishop first? I think I want to withdraw the bishop first. Just clear the way. Peter has been hit back-to-back with 3h4 against his Grunfeld / King's Indian. Yeah, that's a funny move that they're playing nowadays. 3h4. I can't possibly believe that's any good, but hey. They're increasingly pushing that h-pawn earlier and earlier. The queen h5 is a pretty big threat here. This is going to be tough for black to avoid checkmate. Hello, Wayne Beam. What do I think about the Kia? I like Kias, very affordable, reliable vehicles. No, but of course he's talking about the King's Indian attack. Yeah, King's Indian attack, I use that every once in a while against certain variations that I otherwise am not thrilled about playing against. For example, I like playing the King's Indian attack against the French defense. There's some old Bobby Fischer games you can look up. I've shown a couple times on my stream where Fischer demonstrated how to play that. Hello, Pass Pawn. Good to see you as well. Can I play the King's Gambit? I can try. Yeah, I've thought about doing that a couple times, but haven't had the opportunity yet. At least when I've been thinking about it. Let's cash in now. Let's take here. Was there a defense for black? I don't think so. I think after bishop takes h7, probably the only big question is if black could play king takes, knight g5 check, followed by king g6. All right, let's jump in here. We're going to attack the bishop. Maybe f5, f6. Do we just go for it? Do we allow knight takes c2? I think we have the right to do this. There's too much pressure. Are you winning? Are you good? I like that question from Stream Michael. Thank you, Stream Michael, by the way. That reminds me of that meme where the dad comes into the guy's room and he's like, "Are you winning, son?" And I can confirm, yes, I am winning here. That is checkmate, in fact. Thank you, Nevery Elf, for the game. What do you guys think? I was doing this on my stream last night. Like, guess the engine verdict. Is the engine going to like bishop takes h7? Yes, no, or equal. Yes, no, equal. What do you guys say? If we had more time and there weren't more games in the hopper here, we might run a poll, but ooh, this is a divisive one, I can tell. People are throwing in their suspected evals. A lot of yeses. A lot of yeses. Let's take a look. Ooh, it loves it. Not only does it like it, it loves it. That is a plus 6.5 evaluation on bishop takes h7. Vindication. Let's see, though. Why? Okay, I'm going to try to anticipate why it's going to like this so much. Just for a second here. So, again, the key, knight g5, if they go back to g8, queen h5, unless they have some sort of defense of h7, that's usually going to be crushing. So we're not concerned about that line. The only thing we're really wondering about is king g6. And there's queen d3, but there's always f5. Like, f5 always throws potential spanner in the works. There's also queen g4. I'm going to guess, like, queen g4 is good there. But let's see. Yeah, you can see king g8, queen h5. The only way for black to avoid checkmate in the short term is to play bishop e4 and give up the bishop to try to defend h7, like basically sidetrack my bishop. So not good. What about king g6? Yeah, queen g4. But you can see all these moves, these are all, aside from queen d3 check, they're all non-forcing moves. So you might have to be willing to do that if you're sacrificing on h7 and you're going for this Greek gift sacrifice. It's very possible you're going to need a setup move like this, queen g4. You line up with the enemy king and you threaten a discovery. And usually f5 is the move that you're going to be contending with if that happens, to counterattack the queen. Something like this. But yeah, once you start investigating a few lines with the engine, it's pretty clear this is great. But interestingly, for a reason on the queen side, right? So one of the most straightforward reasons the engine likes this for white is that I have queen takes d4 check. With a fork and I pick up the bishop, I regain all the material with interest. Which is not obvious when you're playing this at the beginning. So just a little crash course on the Greek gift sacrifice. Some important things to look at when you're doing that. Chess blood. Good luck. Thanks again to everyone for challenging 3-0. You guys have been very good about that lately. So I do appreciate it. Let's play John Owen's defense. Shout out to John Owen the 19th century chess player from England, I believe. He's got a great first name. What now? Knight f6 invites e5. I'm gonna play c5. Let's try to get creative with the c and maybe the d pawns. Maybe now knight f6. We're gonna perhaps go into some funky Alpine Sicilian like formation. He did play against Paul Morphy. That's right. Shout out to Paul Morphy as well. One of my favorite players. Take knight c6, or sometimes I see them playing queen c8, bishop a6. I think this is very solid what White's doing, by the way. I like that. Let's go queen c8. We're gonna play this kind of strategic. What's Paul Morphy's Twitch? Exclamation point SO Paul Morphy. We're gonna raid Paul Morphy after this stream. He's playing some blindfold chess with rook odds right now. So I'm sure it'll make for entertaining content. Can I play Carol Khan? I played Carol Khan a time or two already this stream, but maybe I will. Take this way. Someone asked, isn't he dead? And Numeroid said, Morphy's account got banned, actually. Okay, now I'm tempted to take, but pawn takes is going to open the way. I'd really like to land knight takes d4, but this would be good if I knew he would take with the knight, but I can't assume my opponent's going to play a bad move. That is not good chess. Let's castle. Okay, now a Greek gift is not going to work because even though White has the piece ingredients, the light square bishop, the knight, the queen, the g5 square is covered, so it shouldn't work. White could play queen e4, but I'll play g6 against that. Why is the Carol Khan so popular lately? I'm going to guess if there has been an uptick in popularity, it's probably because Levy Rosman plays it a lot. I think it's his main weapon against e4. I think he has a course on it, so probably talks about it a lot. Ooh, h4. All right, so this now renews the idea. That's an interesting move. I think this is a pretty good move, in fact, and I do have to be careful now. So at this stage, this becomes a key idea. So I got to think how I want to meet this. This may not be simple, in fact. h6, queen e4, g6 starts to look real sketchy. I don't know that my king can survive such a fate. I don't know, guys. I might be in trouble here. I might have to play g6 anyways and allow h5. We're going to have to curl up and defend for a few moves. f5, while interesting, I didn't like allowing en passant. This is rated. Yeah, my rating is at stake here. Will Chess Blood draw First Blood? Yeah. Great movie, by the way. Rambo First Blood. That's one of those guilty pleasure movies, the Rambo movies. Although I did like the first Rambo a lot better. All right, I'm going to take here. I do feel like I need to open some things up. Again, I'm trying to like tiptoe through the graveyard here. Pawn takes, I'm going to play queen d8. Yeah, nothing is over. Nothing. Legendary. I got to rewatch those movies. I agree, Handles. that it seems like a mainly a movie on, yeah, even though the action scenes are always talked about, on like the plight of veterans and the psychological damage that war does. I'm going to trade everything off. Call me a coward, but I need to win against First Blood. They've been pressuring me this whole game. I need to turtle up and defend a little bit. But now with all these pieces off the board, I can come back with my knight, pick this up. This does look like a very good, if not winning position for me at the end. So even though I did flag chess blood, I think the eval will probably reflect that. That it is good. Yeah, -2.5. But good game chess blood. Let's just see if you had some decisive attacking move. I think h4 is actually a great move. The engine wants to castle here. It may not be quite as impressed, although it's in the top 3. But I think for a blitz game and just the types of ideas you're thinking about, I can tell you're thinking about the right stuff here. So, for example, if I play a routine move, like, I don't know, d6 or something, the whole point is now the Greek gift idea may work for for white, rather. Because this knight's defended, and I don't really want to leverage open this h-file for white. Bad stuff can happen here. You know, things like this, where white seals off the exit, we're going to get mated. So let's just see if this position hits the board. Yeah, king h6 is the only move that keeps me in the game. Very similar types of ideas to the last one with the Greek gift sacrifice, although even some added stuff in the mix with the h-pawn. But the eval is excellent for white, even if king h6. So thanks again for the game. Who's up next? Thibaut Mogan. Shout out to Thibaut of Lichess, by the way, the creator of Lichess. He is from France. He has pledged and has always pledged to keep Lichess free for its entire existence. It's basically like a chess public work and an amazing one. And we see Thibaut around every once in a while. I'm playing a Benko here. I don't know why. When I was talking about the Benko earlier. But yeah, shout out to Thibaut. I remember back when I would do arena streams or arena YouTube videos, back in like the early days of Lichess's popularity, Thibaut would show up in the chat and he'd just hang out, talk a little bit. And we still see him around every once in a while. He'll show up on random streams and in the chat. You love the study function. Yeah, the study function's great. I use it all the time. A little bit, Andrew. You can feel free to email me or send me a message. If you go to my YouTube page and go to the About section, that's the easiest way to get in touch. All right, let's run the A-pawn. I often do this if they go for this setup. Playing A4 and trying to break through a little bit. Now, do we go connect 5 with A3? I don't think so. I think we hold off on that for now. We'll keep the tension for a moment. I might take an infiltrate. It remains to be seen. Who's my first coach? Shout out to my first coach, FIDE Master Ed Zelkind. He still teaches chess here in Minnesota. He's a great guy. He was the first like serious chess player that I studied with. I did in-person lessons at his house, and those helped me so much. He also was a trainer for Boris Gelfand when Boris Gelfand was a kid, interestingly. So he got to go to the 2012 World Championship when Gelfand played Vichy Anand. Got invited there and got to spectate some games as his guest. It was pretty cool. Teeb Guti says, well, my name is Thibaut and I'm French. Can I pretend I'm the awesome guy who created Lichess? Sure. You can pretend. I'm tempted to go here, but is my queen going to survive that infiltration? It's the key thing. Let's do it. I mean, there's knight c1, though. Knight c1 is kind of a buzzkill. We might have to change up our approach. All right. We're switching gears. We're going to play e5. I don't know that I'm going to get much on the queen side, so probably should have held off on that trade even longer. What rating was I when I started taking classes? I was probably in 4th grade. I didn't even have a rating at that point, but I was probably around 1,000 strength. Maybe lower, maybe even like 900. My first rating was a little over 1,000 USCF. US Chess Federation. And like many players, I didn't have a FIDE rating for a long time. Should I go for f5? f5, take, queen g5. Looks a little sketchy for me. Let's play h6. We're going to bide our time here. Anticipating rook a1. White wants to fight for the file. A little Marshall Gray. I'm happy to take here, I think. This is usually a trade that we like. Marshall Gray was asking, my daughter is 2.5 years young. At what age should I start involving her in chess? She recognizes all the pieces and can place them perfectly on the board now. That's pretty impressive. I mean, I would say the earlier, the better. Seems like 3 to 5, that age range is like an optimal range for maybe starting to take the game a little more seriously. Knowing all the rules, some very basic strategy. But some people might be able to chime in a little better than I can. Hope I don't get in trouble here with like the d6 pawn or maybe a knight g4 move coming in. Got to watch my time as well. This is getting a little bit down to the wire. Knight g4. Okay. Take it. All right, now we're going to bring the queen back. I'm going to try to blockade. If the queen gets to e7, I'm thinking this position's pretty darn solid. But definitely some complications in the short term. Definitely. We're going to rearrange a little bit. Maybe bishop g4. Okay, let's take that. Okay, we picked that pawn off. I think rook f6. White could have tried to sneak in rook f6 somewhere. Oh, they hung the rook. All right, we're promoting. Oh, auto queen being off almost cost me some decisive time there, but fortunately when you promote, the queen is exactly on your pointer. So if I remember to click that, it might be okay. Oh, very close though, under a second. Tebow, thanks for the game. I think you were doing all right in the middle game, even at this later stage after the queen trade. If you had played rook f6 here, that was the move I was concerned about, rook f6. So if I take g5, you take d6. Also, I can't play rook d8 because you take f7. So took a bit of a risk that you wouldn't see that in time pressure. Whew. Closest game of the day, though. Yeah, good game. Aryan Ramapur, good luck. e4, they're ready to go. Let's play... Oh, let's play another Sicilian. Good luck. I've been trying to get a Sveshnikov. Let's go for a Sveshi, if we can. Again, rest in peace to Yevgeny Sveshnikov. He had strong beliefs in this opening, and it is an excellent opening. Thank you, Goodest. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night. Okay, take here. If I take here, I'm hitting the bishop. So on bishop takes, I can come back. Now, I feel like if I play this correctly, I should win material. But let's think for a moment. Candidate moves. Bishop takes g5. Maybe bishop b7. Maybe knight b4, although I don't think that's justified. So bishop takes here. Queen takes c6. Bishop takes here. Bishop e7. Queen takes e5. b4. Maybe. I don't like it, though. Something about that I don't trust. I'm just going to go bishop here. We'll check that afterwards. We'll run it back. Now I'm threatening a queen trap. White's not careful. And b4 remains a threat. Yeah, exactly. Malcolm, there's queen takes g7. Wasn't liking the look of that. Okay, I think this move is just winning now for me. Because there's no queen b3. This is a discovery on the queen. Hello, Stein L. Or Stein, yeah, Stein L. Okay, take. Knight f5, I can play queen f6. Stay on the knight. We're just harvesting the material here. Let's take a little bit more. Can I trap this knight somehow? Probably not in the short term. But I can try to threaten b4. Let's give it a check. Maybe go after this. b4 tempting here, but there's rook d1. If I take, is knight e3 actually helpful? No, probably because I can play queen e4 check. White really only has a knight for the queen, so this looks pretty good, but still have to be careful, right? Let's castle. I can always tuck my king away. So a bit of a instance of late castling here, but no particular danger. All right. Thanks for the game, Aryan. Take a quick look here. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, bishop c4 I don't think is a great move. Usually, if anything, white puts the knight there. There's the line where you can try to play knight c4. Although the main line is bishop takes f6 and then jumping into d5. So I did play b5. Knight takes, queen takes. And yeah, bishop b7 is correct here. The line I was trying to work through was this. Trying to buy time to play b4, but I took a quick look at this. This covers the b4 square. I saw bishop e7 takes and then b4, but didn't like knight d5 at the end. Queen takes g7 is another possibility Malcolm mentioned, although bishop f6 looks good there. But yeah, once you look at a line like this, and it's a fast game, you're probably going to want to reject this variation. So I am happy I played bishop b7, and it looks like white does have to be pretty careful here. Queen d3 is best to meet b4 with knight d5. I see. Okay. All right. Friendly dinosaur. Oh, I played you last time, didn't I? Wait a minute. Didn't we play, even though it says we don't have a record? Because I was talking about Barney. And I was mentioning how my dad is named Barney. And we were talking about the friendly dinosaur. Let me ask them. Maybe it was no underscore. Maybe it was a different friendly dinosaur. Let's play the Alpin. You remember that, Tebow? Good. So I'm not going crazy. Oh. They just said no. I'll have to look that up. Oh. Glad we got that cleared up. So we were going to play, but it got aborted quick. Now, trap for black. Take. Queen takes d4 is no bueno because the bishop takes c6, which would win the queen. So. Okay. I think I've had this position before. I think this is very good for white somehow, but I don't remember how. I mean, d5 is the obvious thing to do. Blast open the middle, but if you play d5, you got to be ready for rook d8. But then I really want to play it. I'm going to do it. I haven't calculated fully what I'm going to do against this. Maybe queen b3, play it like a gambit. He takes there anyways. Take rook d8. Bishop b5 even. Now I'm confusing myself. Let's play queen takes d5. If bishop takes c3 now, I need to play queen e4 check because my queen will be undefended. And I don't want to play queen takes a5 because of bishop takes a5. So let's throw this in. We'll see what happens. Might be playing this like a gambit. I don't mind if white takes. I think that would be potentially great compensation for me. But very possible black is solid enough here that losing the dark square bishop is no big deal. LB Hike says there can only be one friendly dinosaur at a time. When the old one dies or gets smothered mated, a new one takes its place. Philip says, John, I would prefer playing a game with you than meeting Mick Jagger. Odd reference, but thank you, Philip. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, shout out to Aryan in the YouTube chat as well. They're watching on there. How many challenges? 106 challenges. Yeah, so quite a few. All right, so Black Castle's queenside. I think we want to play bishop g5 against that. Interesting position here with the opposite side castling, but neither side likely to launch a pawn storm anytime soon, I would say. Maybe they will let this happen so they can try to use the G file. Again, I'm offering this pawn. I would be pleased if black took that, because that gives me some open files to work with towards their king. Queen f5. All right, maybe rook b1. Knight d4 also comes to mind. Feel like they're getting ready for h6, so I'm trying to plan my strategy. Let's play this. Rook b1 seems like a useful attacking move. Maybe rook b5 in some instance. I'm going to take. Takes with the pawn. Okay, so voluntarily takes with the pawn. Now, I don't have much time, but let's swing over here. Let's swing over, try to create some threats towards the black king. I'm thinking moves like this even. Yep, some extreme moves like that. Now, if my knight wasn't there, bishop g4 would be a threat. Let's do this. Gotta hurry now. Time is of the essence at this point. This is tense. Put your bets in. Who's going to take this? Oh, don't blunder mate, John. I almost blundered knight d4. And then a capture. Wait a minute. Let's go here. Oh! Oh no. I'm losing. My only chance is a dirty flag at this point. I'm going to try my best. I'm hanging the queen. Oh, that was the dirtiest of flags. I am sorry, friendly dinosaur. But they had instantly said thank you. That was disgusting. I'm going to have to take a shower after this stream. That was gross. We blundered so many ways, me more than him or her. Ooh. Yeah, I almost blundered. Checkmate at one point, knight d4, queen takes g2. I don't know. Let's take a quick look at this. I do wonder how I could have played this better. It's only a small advantage for white. It's just interesting because I feel like I've looked at this before, but evidently I didn't get much out of this. Queen f5. Yeah, I'm not much better here. The bishop coming to d5 was annoying. This was well thought out by black. I almost played queen takes a7 here, but I think at this point, black is firmly on the attack. Yeah. So that's why I played king h2, which was a complete blunder. But honestly, it's not looking good at this point. I did get outplayed. That's right. But I didn't lose. Okay, TG 2004. Good luck. Got outplayed, but somehow survived thanks to a filthy flag. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we mandate it be 3+0. So the streamer has a chance to flag you guys, the masses. TG 2004. Let's do it. Up and at 'em. Don't think they're there. All right. Morphe tactic. Okay, speaking of Morphe, another 2,000 plus player, 2,200. Good luck, Morphe. One day you're going to lose one of these to a really dirty flag. Yeah. And as an update on my overall record in Lichess plays, I've lost exactly one game. So one loss in the past few months. Ooh, e4. You don't see that move hardly ever. Let's take. And I feel like check here is probably the reason why. Check or check here. I mean, maybe some queen sack in some universe, but let's just check first and see what white does. You know what? I'll take and play queen a5. We're going to play without our dark square bishop, but try to be pesky. You know, threaten stuff like this. Maybe knight e4. I mean, even if queen c2, maybe I play knight e4. Is that a legit move? Kind of looks like it. I think so. We hit the bishop. We hit that a couple times. Yeah, they just pull it back. Let's take. Okay, I like my position now. I think white has a little bit more activity, but so long as I'm not wandering into a Greek gift, I should be doing pretty well. Got to solve the light square bishop issue. Maybe this and this. Probably take here now. Maybe not yet. Maybe hold off one move. They can take with a pawn. Let's go here. Hopefully I'm not exposing my king too much or this rook on a8. I think the knight coming to f6 or maybe a pawn h6 move should be fine. Yeah, definitely some Nimzo Indian type flavor to this position. For sure. Can I play the Smith-Morra or Danish Gambit? Yeah, I've had some opening requests, haven't been able to fulfill them so much, but I do like playing Gambit, so I might very well play one of those. I play the Smith-Morra pretty frequently, not so much the Danish. You would like to see more Scandi Stakehead chess? Nice. Okay, still looking good here. Take perhaps Bishop E7 comes to mind too. Although they can take on E6, I think, at that point. Rook D8 even. Rook D8 seems all right. Let's do that. I'm trying to get white to capture here. That would be my dream scenario. So I can seamlessly take with the bishop, and they're going to have double isolated pawns. So I think white's, in fact, going to want to leave the pawn here. Oh, is that true, Lonely Oreo? I'm sorry. The draw has not favored you, yeah. Okay, white does take. Yeah, now I'm very happy with my position. Can even think about rook takes d2. I'm not going to try that yet, but okay, kind of an alignment issue here. Maybe knight g4. Let's do that. Try to send the knight to the e5 square. If f4 to prevent that, then they run into knight e3. Okay, knight f3. I didn't see that move. Probably a good one. All right, I'm going to try to double. Just your plain old doubling. Queen looks out of play, but she does a good job of pressuring here and here. Can often even come back and maybe target c4. I think I did play a Scandi or two this stream. Someone said 0 Scandis, but I'm pretty sure I did play one. The YouTube chat did not like my flag in that previous game. Ooh, this should trigger our alignment senses. Bishop takes c4, coming in hot. This is going to be a mega pin. A mega pin. Although there's 95. 95 kind of spoils it, unfortunately. So I may have to cash in immediately. Yeah, I think I'm just going to cash in, especially because time is getting a little lower. We don't need a repeat of a near flag. Let's just try to win this game. With king g2, I'm probably going to put my queen on d5 to pin here. Give white an unpleasant choice of how to play this, because now, yeah, they're going to want to move the king to get out of the pin, but very tough to stop the a-pawn at this stage. Go pick this up. Bully with a queen trade. Pick another pawn up. Pretty much force a queen trade, otherwise the knight falls. All right, now we're just guiding this on home. Checkmate. Okay, yeah, that was pretty clean, although in fairness, I was working from a pretty large advantage, I think. White has no pawn play and just a plethora of pawn weaknesses. But yeah, king f1. I think you're at a decent tactical level if a move like that just instantly hits your radar as, must be a tactic here. And the tactic was the temporary exchange sacrifice to force white into a pin. The only thing is, I think this kind of caps my material gain. White could even play knight e5 right here. Maybe I can take in queen a6 or something, but I don't think I can win much more than I did in the game. But maybe. And the engine's already showing a large advantage. But again, this, I think, speaks to the decisive nature of a lot of these evals that these modern engines give. They don't mess around. They just say something's clearly winning or it's not a lot of times. Yeah, this is pretty clean, I think. Okay, thanks for the game, Morphe Tactic. I think we have time for 2 more games. We got to get one more and then do our usual. You guys know what? horsey Bon Cloud game. Okay, chill fun chess. Let's play d5. I'll play a Queen's Gambit declined. Maybe even like a triangle type position, which I kind of did last time, but when I play this, I'm more likely to grab the pawn on c4, so let's do that. That could be handles. That could be. It could be my PC. Yeah, I do have a pretty powerful machine that I'm running here. Shout out to Lichess, by the way, for putting in Stockfish 14. It used to be available only on local analysis, but it didn't come out very long ago, and they've already got it uploaded on the server side. So that's impressive. Okay, knight e5. So if take, knight d5, I run into e4. Probably want to play like a queen b6 type move here. Queen c7 even. I don't know. Let's play queen b6. Plays a5. Okay, closes it down. I don't think that's a great move, personally. I just think keeping the tension is a little bit better. It allows me to solidify all this. And white is down a pawn, remember, so... Why b6 over c7? I like b6 a little bit more to pressure d4, I guess, and maybe that diagonal, like have some chances on that diagonal. But if white had played, let's say, bishop e3 right here, maybe I would end up going back to c7 at some point. Okay, b3 played. First thought is, can I just take everything and try to win there? Might take here first. Let's go ahead and take. Just curious what white's going to do here. Maybe they'll take on c4, but I can take on f4. This looks pretty good for me already, I would say. Maybe playable for white. Maybe. Yeah, see, I think white should have played b takes c4 there instead of bishop takes e5. Now, if I take here, bishop takes c6, king up, how safe am I there? I think pretty safe, in fact. I'm going to do that. Yeah, white doesn't even take back on c6. Now I should be up 2 pawns. I mean, the bishop's still a little bit buried, but good position to work with at this stage. Let's go here. I'm going to maybe give back 1 pawn. There's a trap, though. Semi-trap, maybe. How many games will I play before I end the stream? I think we're only going to have time for 1 more game after this. Yeah, we're still at 90-plus challenges. So, alas, I'm not able to play you all. And I will be gone next week. I'm going to be out of town for my brother's wedding. So I personally will not be doing Lichess plays next week, although it's very possible they'll have someone fill in and there will be other Lichess streams throughout the week, I'm sure. H6, good time to play a move like this, I think. That's a good idea, though, trying to get into c5. I overlooked this possibility. And therefore, maybe should have taken. All right, let's play the knight back here. I'm still going to try to keep my my 2 extra pawns. But that knight is annoying. Not going to lie, it's annoying. So much so that I'm willing to give a pawn for it. White's going to take me up on that. Bishop takes c6, probably incoming. Thank you, Onyx Mondro. Okay, more time scrambling in store here. Do I take the bishop? I don't know. I'm going to go here. Bishop looks a little bit awkward. I'm seeing some lines where maybe I can check and do this at some point. Not yet, but down the road. Let's try to be solid for a moment. Okay, creative. Creative play. Ooh. I think I'm letting this slip a little bit. Yeah, rook c6. This is anybody's game now, I think. Who is better here? White's king is kind of weak, and their clock is definitely weak. Check here. Let's play for mate. Oh my. I meant to play rook g1 and I played rook h1 and they lost on time. I think rook g1 was mating though. Rook g1, king f3, queen e4. Here, yeah, that's mate. What's the eval towards the end here? Ooh, winning for white, but they got to find a particular sequence. Rook c8, king h7, queen f6. Why would I not go to g7 on rook c8? Ah, queen d4. Okay. Yeah, these positions are very sharp. Yeah, and rook h1 is losing. John Bartholomew. Nice. Okay. Yeah, some close games here. Let me do the ceremonial piece set switch. If you don't like the Horsey Boncloud game, of course, feel free to look away. But it has become tradition. We got to do this. We play with the Horsey set, and we play the Boncloud. Here we go. Numeroid knows what it's all about. Now, the only problem, I haven't had someone do it, but queen h5 is the problem. We're still going to gambit a pawn. White actually did not take on e5. But yeah, the issue is the queen h5 move and why you can't pre-move it. Let's play knight c6. We'll develop. Sorry, I'm like ordering some food here too. And I'm going to pick up after the stream. Let's go d6. Maybe I can sneak in bishop g4. Yes, this is the last game. Miklov. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Always appreciate you guys. This is something I look forward to every week. And as usual, apologies to those I was not able to play today. There will be other opportunities. I would be open, by the way, to a different type of challenge on the last game, if we have any good ideas for the future. Because as much as I like the Horsey Boncloud, I recognize some people don't like it. Maybe they don't like the set. You know, if you want me to play with this set or this one, we can always arrange that. Hey, I want a knight. I want a carrot. Yeah, white disrupted the connection between those two pieces. Am I good at blindfold? I try to castle there. I can't castle. I don't practice blindfold, but I think I'm still decent at it. Yeah. I as in I could play one game pretty comfortably blindfolded. Multiple would be a challenge right now. I have not remotely tried to do that recently. Amazing set if you want a headache, says Shernick. Exactly. What is the Bauhaus set? Someone just mentioned that. I don't know which one the Bauhaus set is. Let's go knight d7. I'm gonna play the knight back, just in regards to f4, making sure f4 doesn't happen. Try the 3D. Yeah, the 3D set's pretty cool too sometimes. What is it under? Board geometry? Whoa. Whoa, this looks so weird now. Especially with this color scheme. I don't know what to think about this. I'm getting dizzy. And there was no 3D horsey, yeah, evidently. Did you guys experience that too? Yeah, it's like Vertigo. It's chess set Vertigo. The squares don't even look square to me, which I guess makes sense because we're seeing it at a slight angle, theoretically, with this set. Feel like I'm like Alice in Wonderland or something. There are some cool themes though with this. Like if I go to background, what is it? Board theme. I think it looks decent with maybe the wood theme, like a little bit better, a little easier to process. I hope Lichess doesn't mind me doing this. I know this is Lichess Plays, so I don't want to mess around too much. But I think they like it when we showcase various aspects of the Lichess platform. All right, let's take this one. And I'll maneuver the knight a little bit. We'll try to get it up here. White has the 2 bishops, but this might be all right. Pushing a lot of pawns, but my position is so solid. It's going to be hard for white to break through, I think. But we'll see. They're probably going to continue pushing. G5. No, take. Okay. Let's take. Wait for the counterattack. Wait for the counterattack to happen. We got to get it going towards that white king. Let's go here. Pin. And white's going to be out of time soon. They're mounting a comeback too, but they're going to be out of time. Shambhabala, thanks for the game. All right, let me put it back to something more visually. Oh, these are the different piece sets. Visually sound for now. There we go. Something more normal. Yeah, so knight d2 severed the connection between the knights there. But thank you for the game. Again, thanks to everyone for playing today. Always a lot of fun. Had some close games, some sharp games for sure, back and forth action. Hopefully I was able to explain some instructive points as well, like in that, what was it, the Greek gift? We talked about that at length, how to think about the aspects of the bishop takes h7, the knight g5, the queen coming in perhaps. So, as always, much appreciated. Thanks again to Lichess, the mods, Lichess itself. And I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Again, I'll be out of town next week, but hope to see you guys in a couple weeks. We are rating Zephcat now. Thanks again, everyone, on Twitch, and also our YouTube viewers as well. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.